For over 40 years, Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers shared one of the most iconic partnerships in country music. Their chemistry on stage was undeniable, with hits like Islands in the Stream becoming timeless anthems. But behind the music, their connection was even deeper than most fans realized. There have been years of speculation and countless romance rumors. Now, in the wake of Kenny's passing, Dolly is opening up like never before, revealing the true nature of their bond. What was it really? Like behind the scenes, were they ever more than just friends? Or was there something more to their story that fans never saw? How did they maintain such a close, enduring relationship throughout the highs and lows of their careers? After 40 years of shared moments, laughter and love, Dolly Parton is finally confessing the truth about her deep friendship with Kenny Rogers. Prepare for a side of Dolly and Kenny's relationship that may surprise you, and hear the truth about their relationship. Dolly Parton, the iconic journey of music philanthropy, an unstoppable inspiration. Dolly Parton is a true icon whose influence extends far beyond the country music scene. Born on January 19th, 1946. In the remote Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, Dolly rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most successful, beloved, and multifaceted artists of all time. Her journey is nothing short of extraordinary, as she has continually defied expectations and shattered barriers in both her music career and personal life. Her story begins in the small town of Sevierville, where she was one of 12 children. Growing up in poverty, Dolly's family didn't have much, but they had love, and it was that love that shaped her outlook on life. Her mother's encouragement, along with the music of the church and local traditions, instilled in Dolly a passion for singing and storytelling. It wasn't long before her natural talent caught the attention of others, and by the age of 10, she was performing on local radio and television shows. Dolly's breakthrough came in the 1960s, when she moved to Nashville to pursue a career in music. Despite facing rejection, early on her determination and undeniable talent paid off when she signed with Monument Records in 1965. Her first major hit, Dumb Blonde, released in 1967, made it clear that Dolly was a force to be reckoned with. Over the next few years, she cemented her place in the country music world, with hits like Coat of Many Colors, a poignant song about her childhood and the love she shared with her family. But Dolly's success didn't stop at music. Her career took a significant turn in the 1970s when she teamed up with Porter Wagoner for a long-running duet partnership that made them both household names as their musical partnership blossomed. So did Dolly's own solo career with chart-topping hits, like Jolene and 9 to 5. These songs didn't just become country standards. They became anthems for women everywhere, empowering them to stand strong and pursue their dreams. Beyond her musical achievements, Dolly has always been an advocate for those who need it most. She's known for her philanthropy, including her famous Imagination Library, which provides free books to children across the world. She has also been a vocal supporter of education, women's rights, and the LGBTQ+ community, always using her platform to advocate for kindness, understanding, and equality. Dolly's generosity and compassion are perhaps as legendary as her music itself. Dolly Parton, the controversies and challenges behind the iconic star. Dolly Parton is undoubtedly one of the most beloved figures in the music industry, but like many public figures, her career and personal life have not been without their share of issues and controversies, though her charm, kindness, and resilience are widely recognized. Dolly has faced criticisms, challenges, and moments of tension that have made headlines over the years, from her early struggles in the male-dominated music industry to controversies surrounding her public image. Dolly has had to navigate the complexities of fame and success, One of the earliest and most significant challenges Dolly faced was the skepticism and rejection she experienced when she first arrived in Nashville. Born into poverty in the Smoky Mountains, Dolly didn't fit the traditional mold of the country music. Stars of the time, many in the industry, doubted her ability to succeed, often dismissing her as not having the right look or sound. Despite her exceptional talent, Dolly was rejected by multiple record labels and struggled to make a name for herself. It wasn't until she signed with Monument Records in 1965 that she began to gain recognition. But even then, her journey was far from easy. The gender bias in the industry was palpable, and Dolly had to work harder than many of her male counterparts to prove her worth. Her struggles to break through in a male-dominated field served as an ongoing challenge in her early career, even as she became a rising star. As Dolly's career blossomed, she faced increasing pressures as her fame grew. By the late 1970s, Dolly was not only a country music star, but a crossover sensation. However, her success came with challenges of its own. Dolly's partnership with Porter Wagoner, which began in the late 1960s, became one of the most iconic in country music history. But the collaboration also led to some personal and professional tensions. In 1974, Dolly made the difficult decision to leave Wagoner Show and pursue a solo career, a move that was not well received by all fans. Some critics saw her departure as a betrayal, and Dolly had to navigate public backlash and accusations of abandoning her musical partner, although their split was amicable. It was a complicated and emotionally charged period for Dolly, and it left a mark on her career. Dolly has also faced controversy surrounding her physical appearance throughout her career. She has been known for her signature style, big hair, heavy makeup, and revealing outfits, while Dolly has always embraced her image as part of her personal brand. She has also faced criticism for her looks. The media and the public often focused more on her physical appearance than her musical talents, with some criticizing her for being overly sexualized or presenting herself in a way that didn't align with the traditional image of country music stars. Dolly has openly acknowledged her use of cosmetic surgery, making it clear that she is comfortable with her decisions and views it as a personal choice. However, her openness about cosmetic procedures has not shielded her from criticism, with some detractors questioning her authenticity and accusing her of reinforcing unrealistic beauty standards. Another issue Dolly has faced is the ongoing tension surrounding her theme park Dollywood. While Dollywood has been a huge success, providing jobs and bringing significant economic benefits to the region, it has not been immune to controversy over the years. There have been concerns about worker conditions, environmental impact, and the commercialized nature of the park, for example. Dollywood was forced to close temporarily during the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to financial losses, while Dolly's handling of the crisis was widely praised for its compassion. Ensuring that employees were supported during the shutdown, it did bring attention to the challenges that come with managing a large business empire. Dolly has also been at the center of political controversy, especially concerning her views on issues like LGBTQ+ rights and the Confederate flag in 2018. Dolly faced criticism for her stance on the Confederate flag being flown at her theme park, while she had publicly expressed her support for LGBTQ rights. Some questioned her decision to not take a stronger stand against the flag. Despite this, Dolly has remained unapologetically true to her values, always emphasizing kindness, acceptance, and the importance of treating others with respect. The Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers, like Dolly Parton, was an undeniable force in the world of country music. His career spanned decades, and he became one of the genre's most influential and beloved figures, born on August 21st, 1938. In Houston, Texas, Rogers came from humble beginnings, growing up in a working-class family. His early life wasn't glamorous, but his passion for music led him to pursue a career that would eventually make him a household name. Known for his distinctive voice and storytelling ability, Kenny's career saw him become not only a country legend, but a mainstream icon. Over the years, he amassed hits like The Gambler Lucille and Islands in the Stream, a duet with Dolly Parton that became one of the most enduring songs in country music history. But much like Dolly, Kenny's journey was not without its challenges. Early on in his career, he experienced setbacks, including being part of several unsuccessful bands and facing multiple rejections before his breakthrough. It wasn't until the 1970s that he found lasting success with his solo career. And even then, the road wasn't always smooth. Kenny faced skepticism from critics who questioned whether his blend of pop, country, and folk influences could sustain him as an artist. Despite this, he carved out his own niche with a sound that resonated with millions. His blend of smooth vocals, relatable lyrics, and his ability to tell stories through song made him a standout figure. But it also set him apart from many of his peers. Kenny's personal life was also marked by complexity, known for his smooth style and charm. He was married 5 times, and his relationships with his family were often complicated. However, his love for his children and the desire to be a good father remained a consistent theme in his life. Kenny's struggles with personal relationships, coupled with the pressures of fame, created challenges that he had to navigate. Much like other stars of his caliber, despite his fame and fortune, Kenny faced battles that were sometimes difficult to overcome in the public eye. When it comes to Kenny's relationship with Dolly Parton, their partnership was something special. The two first met in the late 1970s, and their musical chemistry was undeniable from the start. While many assumed their bond was romantic, Dolly and Kenny always maintained that their relationship was purely platonic, based on mutual respect, friendship, and a deep love for music. The pair recorded several iconic duets, together with Islands in the Stream, becoming one of the most beloved country songs of all time. But their connection went far beyond the music. Their friendship was built on shared experiences, a common love for storytelling, and an understanding that only people who had been through similar journeys could truly comprehend. Even when Kenny was going through personal challenges, including his struggles with balancing family life and fame, Dolly was always there for him. Their friendship became a symbol of the kind of lasting bonds that can be formed in the entertainment industry. Despite the pressures and the rumors that often surround high-profile relationships, it was clear that their love for each other wasn't just based on shared stage time. It was a deeper, more genuine connection that survived decades of fame and personal turmoil. Dolly has often spoken about Kenny with immense affection, noting that she missed him dearly after his death in 2020. Their bond, forged in the highs and lows of their careers, became a cornerstone of each other's lives. Kenny Rogers, the controversies, challenges, and lasting legacy of a country legend. Kenny Rogers, like many iconic stars, faced his share of issues and controversies throughout his career. Despite his immense success and undeniable impact on country music, Rogers was a multi-talented artist, celebrated for his distinctive voice, songwriting, and remarkable ability to bridge the gap between country pop and folk music. However, his personal life, business decisions, and public persona often made him a subject of media scrutiny, and many of the challenges he faced were tied to his fame and the expectations placed on him. One of the most significant issues in Kenny Rogers' life was his complicated personal relationships. Over the years, he was married 5 times, and his divorces were often heavily covered in the press. The media and public were quick to judge his relationships, focusing more on his personal life than his professional achievements. Rogers, however, was open about the fact that his marriages were a challenge, and admitted that being in the spotlight made it difficult to maintain relationships. Despite these difficulties, he expressed a deep love for his children and always emphasized that his family was a top priority. His willingness to discuss his personal life, including his struggles with balancing fame, and family, showed a level of vulnerability that many fans appreciated, even if the media sometimes took advantage of it. Rogers' private life wasn't the only source of controversy throughout his career. He was occasionally criticized for making decisions that some felt compromised his artistic integrity, for example. In the 1980s, Kenny Rogers embraced a more pop-oriented sound, with hits like Islands in the Stream, his famous duet with Dolly Parton. While the song became a massive hit, some purists in the country music community felt he was selling out by moving away from his roots. Critics often accused him of watering down his sound for commercial success, especially when he expanded his musical repertoire to include more mainstream pop and adult contemporary music. This shift in style, however, helped him reach a wider audience, proving his versatility and ability to adapt to changing musical trends. It also solidified his place in the broader pop culture landscape, which only added to his immense popularity. Another controversial aspect of Kenny's career was his choice to step away from the public eye in the early 2000s. After decades of constant touring and recording, Rogers made the decision to retire from touring, citing his desire to spend more time with his family and to step back from the demanding nature of the music industry while his retirement was largely respected. It left many fans disappointed and sparked debate about whether he was leaving too soon, or whether he had earned the right to step away from the limelight. His decision also raised questions about the pressure placed on musicians to constantly be in the public eye, and how that can affect their personal lives and well-being. His retirement led to speculation about whether he was truly done with music, or if he would one day return. While Rogers did return for select performances and projects, his departure from the relentless touring schedule marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life. Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, the evolution of a timeless friendship and musical legacy. Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers' relationship, both professionally and personally, is one of the most enduring and beloved partnerships in country music history. Their journey together began in the 1960s, when both were emerging in the music industry, carving their own paths toward fame. In those early years, their encounters were brief and cordial, but they didn't immediately form the close bond that would eventually define their careers. It wasn't until the 1970s, when they were both firmly established in the country music scene, that their paths began to cross more frequently. By then, Dolly had already made her mark with hits like Jolene and I Will Always Love You, while Kenny had begun his rise with songs like Lucille and The Gambler. Though they weren't collaborating yet, they worked within the same circles and grew to respect each other's musical talents. During this time, they began to perform together more frequently, and their mutual admiration turned into a lasting friendship. Dolly, known for her warmth and open-hearted nature, often spoke highly of Kenny, describing him as one of the kindest people she had ever met. Similarly, Kenny was quick to praise Dolly's songwriting and vocal ability, often noting that her influence in country music was unmatched, while they were not yet known as a public duo. In the 1970s, their friendship grew deeper with each interaction, and this mutual respect set the foundation for their future collaborations. The 1980s would be the decade when their professional relationship truly flourished, particularly with the release of their iconic duet Islands in The Stream in 1983. Islands in the Stream became an instant classic, and it solidified the bond between Dolly and Kenny. Both musically and personally, the song, which was written by Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees, reached #1 on the charts and became one of the most memorable duets in country music history. For Dolly and Kenny, Islands in the Stream was more than just a commercial success. It was a reflection of their incredible chemistry, both as musicians and friends. The song's light-hearted, playful tone mirrored their on-stage personas, and their easygoing camaraderie was evident. Their voices blended so seamlessly that it was hard to believe they hadn't been performing together for years. The success of this duet not only boosted their individual careers, but also gave them the opportunity to collaborate on future projects, cementing their partnership in the eyes of fans and the industry alike. Throughout the 1980s, Dolly and Kenny continued to share the stage together at various country music events. Their performances became a staple of the era, with fans eagerly anticipating their playful exchanges and interactions on stage. During these years, they became a beloved pair in country music, and their growing bond was evident not only in their music, but in their public appearances, whether performing together at the Grand Ole Opry or appearing on television specials. Dolly and Kenny's natural chemistry was palpable, and their interactions always seemed effortless. They were often seen joking and teasing each other, showing a level of comfort and trust that comes only with years of friendship. Despite their growing fame as a duo, they maintained a light-hearted, fun, loving approach to their performances, which endeared them even more to their fans. There were no major controversies or issues. During this period of their relationship, Dolly and Kenny's friendship appeared rock solid, and their working relationship seemed harmonious. They were two of the most popular country artists of the decade, and their collaborations were seen as a shining example of how mutual respect and admiration can create lasting success. Fans and critics alike praised their performances, and there were no reports of any significant tension between them. The 1980s marked the height of their public friendship and professional partnership, and they remained a constant in each other's lives, whether working together on projects or simply supporting each other privately. Moving into the 1990s, Dolly and Kenny's collaborations continued, though the nature of their careers began to shift slightly. By then, Dolly was firmly established as a solo superstar with a flourishing career in both music and entertainment. She continued to release successful albums and tour extensively, while also branching out into acting and business ventures, such as the opening of Dollywood in 1986. On the other hand, Kenny began to explore new musical directions, moving further into the realms of pop and adult contemporary music, in addition to his country roots. While there were no direct issues or disputes between them, during this time, some fans speculated that their career paths had begun to diverge, potentially causing minor friction. Dolly's relentless work ethic and constant presence in the public eye contrasted with Kenny's desire to branch out into other genres, and his decision to pursue a more pop-oriented sound may have caused some subtle tension. However, this speculation was just that, speculation, and there were no public signs of a falling out between the two. In 1993, Dolly was there for Kenny during a particularly difficult time in his life. As he went through a divorce, she publicly expressed her support for him, emphasizing the strength of their friendship. It was a time when Kenny needed his friends more than ever, and Dolly's unwavering loyalty was a testament to the depth of their bond. She spoke openly about how much she cared for him, offering him not just professional support, but personal comfort as well. This act of support further demonstrated the strength of their friendship, which had already weathered years of public scrutiny and the challenges of the entertainment industry. Dolly was always there for Kenny, whether celebrating his successes or providing a shoulder to lean on during difficult times. The controversial friendship of Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, rumors career divergence, and lasting bond. While Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton's friendship is often celebrated as one of the most genuine and enduring relationships in country music, it wasn't without its share of controversy and public speculation. Their remarkable chemistry on stage and in the studio, particularly during their iconic duet Islands, in the stream made them one of the most beloved musical duos in history. However, this close friendship also led to widespread rumors, many of which focused on the nature of their relationship, despite their constant assurances that they were nothing more than close friends and collaborators. Many fans and media outlets continued to speculate about a possible romance between them. The undeniable connection they shared, marked by playful teasing, affectionate exchanges, and an undeniable ease, often led the public to believe that their bond was more than just professional. The media, especially during the height of their fame in the 1980s, frequently fueled these rumors, overshadowing the true nature of their relationship. Dolly and Kenny were often forced to address these rumors, with both of them stating time and time again that there was no romantic involvement for Dolly. The speculation about her personal life, especially with someone as high profile as Kenny, was a constant source of frustration. She was no stranger to being the subject of public obsession regarding her appearance and relationships. But the rumors about her friendship with Kenny seemed to be a persistent and unwarranted distraction from their musical achievements. Despite these challenges, Dolly and Kenny both navigated the media's obsession with their relationship with Grace Dolly. With her trademark humor and openness, often joked about the rumors, saying that the public had to have something to talk about. And it was easier for them to speculate about a romance than to focus on the real work they were doing. Kenny, on the other hand, took a more serious approach, emphasizing that their connection was based on mutual respect, and that their closeness was a product of years of working together and sharing similar experiences in the music industry. While their responses to the rumors varied, it was clear that they both found the ongoing speculation somewhat tiresome, especially when it detracted from their professional accomplishments. Another challenge in their friendship was the inevitable divergence in their career paths as the 1990s rolled around. Both Kenny and Dolly found themselves exploring different musical directions. Dolly continued to thrive as a solo artist, building her brand with ventures like Dollywood, and expanding her presence in other entertainment industries. Meanwhile, Kenny started to branch out into more pop and adult contemporary music, appealing to a wider audience, with songs that strayed further from his country roots. This divergence in musical styles, though not a source of conflict between them, raised questions among fans about whether their professional relationship could be affected by their different musical directions. There was a sense that Dolly's more traditional country style was at odds with Kenny's crossover into pop music, and some fans speculated that this might cause tension between the two. However, both continued to support each other professionally, and any potential friction over career paths remained private. Dolly Parton reflects on her lasting bond with Kenny Rogers. As Dolly Parton approaches the 3-year anniversary of Kenny Rogers' passing, her emotions remain as poignant as ever. In a recent interview, Parton, who is now 77 years old, reflected on the enduring bond she shared with her dear friend and musical partner. "I miss him so much," she admits, revealing the depth of her sorrow after the world lost Rogers, who passed away from natural causes at the age of 81 in March of 2020. For Parton, the Grief has been compounded by the loss of many other loved ones in recent years, but the absence of Rogers, she says, stands out as one of the most profound. I've lost so many wonderful people in my life in the last few years, but Kenny, he was very, very dear and special. Parton continues, I never get tired of hearing us sing all the years that we were on stage together. These words speak to the profound impact that Rogers had on her life, not just as a colleague, but as a friend who played an essential role in her personal and professional journey. One of the things Parton cherishes most are the memories of performing with Rogers on stage, especially the iconic song that brought them worldwide recognition, Islands, in the Stream, released in 1983. This song became a defining moment in both of their careers, written by the Bee Gees' Barry Robin and Maurice Gibb. Islands, in the Stream, was a massive hit, topping both the country and pop charts, the infectious melody and harmonious chemistry between Parton and Rogers captivated listeners, making it one of the most memorable duets in country music history. In the interview, Parton recalls the joy of performing Islands in the Stream and the special place it held in their hearts. You know how sometimes you get tired of singing something because it just becomes routine. She reflects with a laugh, but I would always lighten up when that particular song was due in the set list. It just always made everybody feel so good in the audience, and the audience always loved singing it. I never got tired of Kenny's voice. This sentiment encapsulates the magic of their musical partnership. Islands in the Stream was not just a song to them, it was a source of joy and energy for both the performers and their audiences. The connection they shared while singing it was electric, and Parton fondly remembers how it was never a routine, but a moment that always brought excitement. Parton's reflection on Islands in the Stream also highlights the authenticity of their relationship. While many iconic duets come and go, this one remained a constant in their performances, cherished by both the artists and their fans. It was a symbol of their undeniable chemistry, which extended far beyond their time on stage. Their friendship was built on shared experiences, mutual respect, and a love for creating music that resonated deeply with their audience. That same chemistry continued to shine through in later years, particularly when they recorded the heartfelt song You Can't Make Old Friends. In 2013, this collaboration was especially meaningful as it reflected the depth of their friendship and the years they had spent together, both professionally and personally. The song, written by Ryan Hannah King, Don Schlitz, and Caitlin Smith, spoke to the enduring nature of true friendship, and its lyrics resonated deeply with both artists. Just in time, too. Honestly, says Parton, recalling the moment they recorded it. This sentiment is especially poignant because, as Parton notes, Rogers retired in 2018 due to health reasons, making their final collaboration all the more precious. The message of "You can't make old friends" became increasingly significant for Parton following Rogers' death. And now I can't hardly sing it. She confesses her voice laden with emotion. The song's message of long-lasting friendship and the irreplaceable nature of old friends hit home for Parton as she processed the loss of Rogers. For her, the song now carries a weight that it didn't when they recorded it together. You can make new friends that feel like old friends. But there's just something about the people that have spent years together. Parton explains you have a history, and you learn about each other inside and out. The years of collaboration, laughter, and shared experiences are irreplaceable. And Parton emphasizes that her friendship with Rogers was a rare and special connection. She likens their bond to that of siblings. Were very similar, were like brother and sister, really. She says a reflection of the deep familial closeness they had developed over time, as Parton continues to reflect on her memories with Rogers. She pauses, taking a deep breath, before adding, "He's up there singing her voice, quiet with reverence." In that simple statement, Parton captures the essence of her belief. Despite the physical loss, Rogers' spirit and their shared music continue to live on his. Legacy, like the music they made together, remains a part of her, and she finds comfort in the idea that he's still up there singing. It's a touching tribute to their friendship, one that transcends both time and loss, even as the world has moved on from the shock of his passing. Dolly Parton's connection to Kenny Rogers remains as strong as ever, and the music they made together continues to be a reminder of the deep, unbreakable bond they shared.